All right, this is really exciting. Um, it's been 3 years since I did a series on displays. I did a display series, I'm thinking approximately 2016. I mean, it's already 2020. Uh, and what you're looking at right here is certainly not the same style point, but there is a common similarity in the materials. It's what I term, and it's really not a book term, it's just the best way I know how to put it. Uh, it's a variated type of material that I think is indigenous here in eastern central North Carolina. So we're going to take a look at these. Absolute top quality favorites to me. Just exciting. So I want you to see this, because those points right there all have their home, and this is for many who are new. And this is just the top of 7 trays. And I've been really, waiting for a quiet time, a downtime, and how much more can you get than this? My God, what's been happening in the country, right? So, with that said, I think everybody's got a little extra time. God help us all, right? God have mercy is what I would say to that. Anyway, you can see this one bin. This one little bin is where the displays we're looking at comes from. When I say in comment, my top shelf displays, all of my top quality pieces I keep in my top shelf. Now there's 7 trays underneath this. Some of you who are veterans to Indian trays since 2014 know this box. But you can get carried away just looking at any one. This probably has 25, 30 absolute smokers that are small. And then with the Quartz, that has another 20, 30 smokers that are small. And we just sort of shift around with some really great stuff. Yeah, that's one of the biggest shark's teeth I've ever found from Site 5. So, just some really great stuff. This is the point right here. You got to see this before we get going. And I do want to take some time with the display series. I know there's some out there that just really enjoy them, and I want to work hard at them. This is a point that made me fall in love with Turkey Hill. And that's a site in, I'd say a pod in Site 2. Just quality quartz. It's a little bit of a strawberry quartz, and I do keep a whole bin full of strawberry quartz in here. And just love it. They don't touch each other half as hard as they sound, trust me. I've never broken any of them in here, and I have a lot of comments come in usually to talk about that. So we're not going to get into the box today, but see, this is the same exact material, but these are in there for a reason in terms of variated pieces, different size and what have you. As I said, these all come from easily fit in, and there's more room in that one little bin. Might be 1.5 inches by, I don't know, 3.5 inches. Enough for 2, 3 fishing lures, but forget that, right? It's a way I keep them safe. An easy, compact way I can bury them if I ever have to travel. And it keeps everything safe from me. Just a thought for you. I want to take a look at these and go around and tell you a little bit about them. Appreciate you tuning in. Whether you sub or not, or you're just clicking through, it doesn't matter. If you get to see this, that's a good thing. Let's go clockwise. Here's a piece from Notchville. It's all this, and anything you can tell me about the material is great. I think it's indigenous. I think they found it around here, but I could be wrong. I know they did not find rhyolite, and you see me find a lot of that. Of course, this is indicative for the reason why I call it Notchville. Just a lot of quality notch points, and I don't know if it's from when I was a boy or whatever. How about you? I just love notches on points. There's some stem points you'll see here that are great. This point here. Oh my word. That's from Site 5. And of course it doesn't have a notch, but you just can't. For me, my top shelf stuff, my display stuff, every single one I'm like, well, you just can't get better than that. You can't ask for more than that. Just the expression of human need is fine with me. That's what we're looking at. And oftentimes in these display series and taking a look with good natural light, you're going to get a better look than if you went into a museum with poor lighting and maybe they put a bunch of wire around the artifacts to hold them, or they need to get some of us to go into those museums and help them display them sometimes. Sometimes they're done real well. Look at this base. It's from the Hawk, actually. It's from Site 5E. Again, it's that sort of volcanic variated material. I love it. I don't mind it. They just really made it work. It's a sweet artifact, right? Give you a clear look at it. My mind goes a million miles a minute, so I just slow it down on purpose if I can. One of the early points I found here, I probably found this in 2012 out in Site 7. Many of these, of course, have been seen before, but I mean, I haven't even seen some of these in 2 years. I mean, seriously. I often find different size points, different types of points in Variated. This is a exotic material, but I do think it's indigenous, so I can't really say exotic, you know. I guess you can say smoker, because that's just a great point. Place I call Stillwater. It's next to Coyote Pass. That came from Stillwater before I even knew Coyote Pass would produce points. It was another pod that was a stone's throw away. Maybe an atlatl dart away. Here's a great point right here from Site 4. What do you think? Hardaway variant. There's that variated type of material. One little chip on this point with the cortex there. Well, the archaic was faithful that day. It's been faithful to put out a lot of other points. And I guess it's arguable. It depends what style you like, but a lot of points that are far better than that, in my opinion. I mean, some of you guys love the Hardaway type of bases and what have you. I think it's a great point. That's why it's in my displays. But let's look at this point. Site 2, Hidden Hill. Unique because it's got like the biggest bevel off the back side of this point. I guess it was thinning that they were doing. It's huge. I don't know if you can pick it out. See what I mean? It's huge enough where you can just see it just hook right on in there. And as a lot of you out there are getting to know, if you're beginners, these are definitely not bow points. Not even the small ones. They're not for bows. Definitely for larger arrows that we would call spears. They made for their atlatls. Look at this point. This to me is a favorite. It's sort of a volcanic. Might even have fossils in it. It's serrated. We've got a relief flute or a relief track right up the back. See that? And check out the material. Just giving you a little bit of a museum time. Well, if you could come and stop by, you know, I guess all of these you could handle for yourself. And that's happened once. One individual, one soul. I won't tell you who they were, but you know, I don't necessarily bag these up, box them off, and get them off to artifact shows. I just haven't got there yet. I might never do it. I'm just doing the best I can with a little bit of time that I have, and then it's on to someone else, or it's all over with here. I mean, the world is flat out a mess. All we can do is our best to make our little place in the world better for our children and our loved ones, defend it for that reason. Look at this point. The variated material is what I really was focusing on today. It was a throw up between these and the Marl Mountains. I had somebody leave a comment that said, Marl Mountains are so common they don't even care to collect them. I'm like, what? Yeah, they are very common, but I have some top-end Marl Mountains, and they're an awesome looking type of point. Small as well as big they use for left around here. This is a good point. Might look a little crude in some people's estimation because they have, you guys, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, the flint, the stone is so different from here to California, isn't it? Obsidian in California. I mean, that's obscene, that stuff. Look at this point. So I have to work hard, and you guys are probably with me. I have to work hard to be thankful for what I have here, and that's all you can do. I don't really envy what all you guys have in different places. I mean, it's incredible, different flints, and bigger pieces and bentons, and these major points that you find. I find some bigger stuff, but they're mostly 2 inches, like these, 1.5 inches, but there's a huge gradients in material here. Lots of quartz, which I think many of you guys don't get the chance to find. Well, so I'm really blessed in that. I can't have any complaints. I suppose I find quite a bit. Look at that point. Variated, very nice. Here's another point from Notchville. No wonder why I call it Notchville, right? Sort of a volcanic effect, but we didn't have a lot of seismic activity around here. You know, like they do in California or maybe some other states where they're sure there was volcanic activity going on. So I don't know what to tell you. There are some rock geologist experts that listen and know this stuff, so you know, whatever you want to drop and tell me about it is fine. I don't resist it. To me, I just call it variated because if you look at the whole group, it's just really variated. Speckles, spots, adds a lot of character to it, doesn't it? So that was from Notchville. I can go to the exact place a lot of these were found and just point to the ground and say that's where I found that point. It's just something happens in your brain, you know. Look at this point. Site 5E, Crystal Beach. You gotta bring home some meat. You got children. You got a wife or 2, 3, 4. They did. So you're a good hunter. You made these points to work. I was asking myself today, you know, 2,000, 3,000 years from now, if they're collecting my silverware and it's important to them, I mean, it won't matter nothing to me. It's funny to me that my silverware is something I would use as an everyday living resource, expendable, that would be important to them, but hey, you know, that's life. They laugh. They just scratch their head. It'd be a puzzle to them that we're fascinated by it. So I asked myself, you know, what's the big deal then? We have about 2 more points here. I asked myself this morning. I didn't find much when I was out. You guys think Indian Trace? On Indian Trace I find all the time. I don't. Here's a great point from Notchville again. So the real deal is that we go out there and we seek and save because we're looking to contact our own humanity. When we contact a piece like this and we're certain it's 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years old, well, that's a human being just like you and me, and we make this almost supernatural contact. And we jump in time. Look at these points. So great illustration here, sort of a display series. I'm taking a little extra time. I mean, anybody in the world can just click it off and don't have to watch, but some enjoy it now. I've gotten some really great feedback, so we'll see. Great point from Site 6. Just look at the variated material, blows my mind. They took it, made it work. It's beautiful. Wonder if they were taking rocks and whatever worked, or they knew that this variated material was going to do the job. I think they knew rocks so well that when they picked up a boulder and even gave it a check or whatever, they knew this variated material had worked in the past for them and could stand the chance of working real well. So they just went ahead and took it and went to work on it, and they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in their lifetime of hunting points from this material. Wasn't anything exotic to them. That's a good show of it. Hope everybody finds out there. And keep your sanity. Appreciate you.